Imagine waking up one morning to a world that feels slightly wrong. The air is the same. The sky looks normal. Cities function as usual. And yet, something is happening. Every drug on Earth, legal and illegal, has entered the atmosphere. Not as smoke you can see, not as a cloud you can avoid, but as invisible particles, evenly spread, breathed in by every human being with every breath. At first, no one understands what is going on. People feel lightheaded. Others feel strangely calm. Some become euphoric. Others anxious, paranoid, or confused. Hospitals begin receiving patients with wildly different symptoms, yet no infection, no poison, no common cause can be identified. Within hours, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. The air itself has changed. Every psychoactive substance ever created, stimulants, depressants, hallucinogens, opioids, sedatives, is now present in trace amounts in every breath. No one can opt out. No one can escape. Every human on Earth is exposed simultaneously. The immediate effect is chaos of the mind. People react differently depending on physiology, tolerance, mental health, and age. Some experience intense emotional swings. Others lose focus entirely. Motor coordination deteriorates. Judgment becomes unreliable. Reality itself feels unstable. Transportation collapses first. Drivers lose concentration. Pilots report disorientation. Trains slow or stop as operators are unable to function safely. Air traffic is grounded worldwide within hours. Roads fill with abandoned vehicles. Cities freeze. Workplaces grind to a halt. Decision-making becomes impossible. Meetings dissolve into confusion. Factories shut down as safety risks spike. Offices empty as people are sent home, if they can get there. Hospitals overflow. Doctors and nurses are affected too. Medical staff struggle to stay focused long enough to treat patients. Emergency rooms become scenes of overlapping crises. Overdoses without dosage, intoxication without ingestion. Law enforcement breaks down rapidly. Officers are impaired just like everyone else. Coordination fails. Response times stretch endlessly. Crime does not immediately spike. Confusion dominates instead, but order dissolves. Children are especially vulnerable. Their smaller bodies react more strongly. Schools shut down as teachers realize they cannot safely supervise students. Parents struggle to care for children while experiencing altered mental states themselves. Governments attempt emergency broadcasts. Messages are issued urging people to stay indoors, to breathe less, to use masks. None of it helps. The substances are already everywhere. Filtration systems fail to remove what is essentially part of the air. Psychologically, the world fractures. Some people experience overwhelming pleasure and detachment. Others are trapped in panic, hallucinations, or despair. Time perception distorts. Emotions lose stability. Trust erodes as people can no longer rely on their own minds or anyone else's. Financial systems freeze. Markets close. Trading stops. Digital systems remain online, but human oversight is unreliable. No one trusts decisions made under universal intoxication. Religious and spiritual interpretations emerge almost immediately. Some believe it is a divine punishment. Others see it as forced enlightenment. Cult-like movements form within days, centered around surrender to the altered state. Violence does not explode instantly, but accidents do. Falls, fires, machinery failures, medical mistakes. The death toll rises quietly, not through conflict, but through impairment. As hours turn into days, humanity begins to realize the true horror of the situation. This is not a temporary high. The substances do not wear off. Every breath renews the effect. Tolerance cannot build fast enough. There is no baseline to return to. Sobriety no longer exists as a concept. The human nervous system is pushed into a constant state of chemical interference. Sleep becomes irregular and fragmented. Dreams bleed into waking life. Hallucinations become harder to distinguish from reality. Memory formation degrades. Language itself begins to slip as concentration weakens globally. The idea of consent disappears. No one chose this. No one can refuse it. Humanity is trapped inside a chemically altered reality with no off switch. And the most terrifying realization arrives slowly, as the world struggles to stabilize. Civilization depends on clear minds, and clear minds no longer exist. This is only the beginning of what happens when all drugs enter the air. As days turn into weeks, humanity is forced to accept that the altered state is permanent. The air does not clear. The effects do not fade. Every breath continues to interfere with the human nervous system, locking civilization into a reality where clarity no longer exists. Society begins to fragment along psychological lines. People with higher tolerance or more stable mental health function slightly better than others, but no one is unaffected. Decision-making remains impaired everywhere. Long-term planning becomes nearly impossible. Civilization enters a state of constant cognitive fog. Governments lose effectiveness rapidly. Leadership requires focus, memory, and emotional regulation, all of which are compromised. Policies become inconsistent and contradictory. Emergency powers are declared, then forgotten, then reissued. Trust in authority collapses as no one believes decisions are being made with a clear mind. Economies degrade into survival systems. Complex financial structures fail completely. Trade becomes local and rudimentary. Barter replaces currency in many regions, not by choice, but by necessity. Productivity drops sharply as attention spans shrink and coordination breaks down. Critical infrastructure struggles to function. Power plants, water treatment facilities, and data centers require constant precision. Under universal intoxication, mistakes accumulate. Systems fail intermittently, then permanently. Blackouts become common. Clean water becomes unreliable. Healthcare reaches a breaking point. Medicine relies on accurate dosing, diagnosis, and judgment, all compromised. Treatments are delayed or misapplied. Mental health collapses globally, but there are no clear minds left to treat it. The concept of therapy loses meaning when both patient and healer are equally impaired. Education ceases to function in any traditional sense. Learning requires focus and memory consolidation, both severely disrupted. Children grow up in a world where structured thought is rare. Language simplifies. Abstract reasoning weakens across generations. Culture shifts dramatically. Art, music, and expression become more chaotic, fragmented, and surreal. Linear narratives fade. Creativity reflects the altered perception of reality, intense, emotional, and unstable. The boundary between imagination and perception erodes. Religious movements grow stronger and stranger. Many people seek meaning in the experience, interpreting it as forced transcendence or punishment. Others reject interpretation entirely, embracing emotional numbness as survival. Society divides between those who surrender to the haze and those who fight it endlessly. Violence increases slowly, not explosively. Impulse control weakens. Conflicts escalate without clear cause. Accidents remain the leading source of death, as impaired judgment turns everyday tasks into hazards. Over time, human biology begins to change. Constant exposure forces adaptations. Some neurotransmitter systems down-regulate. Emotional ranges flatten. Pleasure dulls. Pain becomes inconsistent. Humanity evolves toward a blunted psychological state, not by choice but by chemical pressure. Generations born into this world never experience sobriety. For them, the altered state is normal. The concept of a clear mind becomes historical, almost mythical. Old records describing focus and mental clarity sound unreal, like fantasy. Technology stagnates completely. Innovation requires sustained attention and cumulative effort. Both are gone. Civilization stops progressing and instead struggles to maintain what remains. Eventually, humanity reaches a fragile equilibrium. The world does not end. People still live, reproduce, and survive. But the nature of consciousness itself has changed. The final realization is quiet and devastating. Human civilization was not built on tools or machines. It was built on the ability to think clearly. And when the air itself takes that away, humanity does not collapse in flames. It slowly drifts into a permanent haze, alive, functioning, but never fully awake again.